All right, so Curse of the Architect. What is Curse of the Architect? This is kind of the simple explanation of it. Architects we're always looking to do something more, something better. You know, simple requirement, 4 walls, a roof, a door, but an architect will look at this and say, I can do more. I could do that. And it's not just confined to buildings. On the right is probably the teapot that was in everybody's kitchen growing up. On the left, they asked the architect, Michael Graves, can you design us a teapot? Sure. So he's going to take it to the next level. He's going to make it decorative. So this is my project. I had a thought about, well, I could do croquet sets better. And the part that's the worst about them are the wickets, those little bent wire things that always get to be a mess. So that's kind of where I focus my architect attention on. And this is one of the sets that I made for my brother, and basically kind of taking and doing architectural design on those wickets, because it's a great concept of portals. On it, I had to go take it further and design the carrier for it and everything. It's kind of set up the hierarchy for the wickets. You got the pair that you start out, end up at. The outlying ones are kind of a little less ornate, and the center one is the most ornate one. And this was a particular set that I did because I was able to fabricate it. Now. Prior to that, I had been kind of designing, sketching, thinking in my head. This is a kind of a Victorian Gothic theme that I was working on, but kind of realized that these things are going to be hard to build, especially with me with no tools in a garage. But that didn't stop me from sketching and sketching and sketching. And I looked recently when I was setting up this presentation. I looked on the internet. It's like, is anybody else doing this? And this was about the only thing that I could find, which was this kind of children's thing. But I had done there. You can see in there Stars and Stripes. Anyway, moving on. 20 seconds moves fast. This was kind of an industrial, postmodern type of set that I designed. Very industrial. I started looking at working on the mallets, kind of taking it beyond, and you can see the genesis of some pure architecture ones. This was the actual official wicket size for official croquet is barely just wider than the ball, and it's fairly tall. So I was working on a set that could be done out of wrought iron to official standards. So you kind of get a clue of what the curse of an architect is. The curse is on us because we're constantly thinking. Michael Graves, he couldn't stop at the teapot. He had to keep going. That's what architects do. We get an idea, we keep going. We don't know how to turn it off. And to go to the other tea sets. So this was the first designs that I started on. And they got way too complicated, but I had this idea that as the ball went through, it would set this mechanism in motion that would ring these bells. So I started designing all these really kind of bizarre wickets with these really bizarre mechanisms that would ring these bells, and I got this whole series of sketches that I did for it. And as I got more and more into it, I realized there's no way I'm going to build these, but it was so cool. I kept going. I couldn't stop. This one I thought was really cool. That's kind of a Dr. Seussish one on the left, with the kind of the curly wires and the bells and things. And you can see the architectural influence kind of coming into the structure of them as well. These were 3 more. These are kind of my favorite because they're getting more closer to architecture as I'm going through and these were set up to the 2 on the right were the kind of the end ones were the poles at the end, and then you've got the 2 wickets in front of it. And I like the Gothic one with the little bells. This one ended up being my favorite one that I designed into the series because I had set up this system where the ball would go through this gate and kind of set on this ratchet thing on a pulley, and with the counterweight, here you can see a detail of it. So the counterweight would go through the ratchet, and then through the pulley system would spin this little hammer piece at the top that would ding the bell, so it would be a ding, 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 rather than just a ring as it went through. As I was thinking about it, kind of the steampunk theme. And up in the corner is kind of the genesis sketches for this one. This was another one that I actually constructed, and they're all close together just for the photograph. But this was kind of very, I was going for the playful, kind of the lawn game type of motif for these, but still with the architecture influence, kind of the temple one up there on the end, and just kind of, architectural elements done in a playful fashion. But again, with the curse that I have, you can't just stop. I designed the whole carrier for it, carried out the theme. I built a couple of these. One of them kind of sat outside too long and decayed from the weather, but I've still got one, and it's great fun to pull out and play. Don't be afraid of your architect. Let him go. And this is a great site on Facebook. Trust me, I'm an architect, and they show these fantastic buildings, works of architecture out there that if you let your architect go, he'll do amazing things for you, he or she. So thank you very much.